Umejiuliza we, hakuna haja kunyamaza kimya na wajiumiza mwenyewe. Usinyamaze, ongea.
Hi everyone, my name is Zilpa. I'm a counseling psychologist and a GBV case manager working with the Gender Violence Recovery Center. And today we are going to have a discussion on menstrual hygiene and menstrual products. And I'm glad that you are here to join us, and we are going to have an interesting conversation. And before we proceed, let's just introduce our guests. We'll start with you, Caroline. Just tell us who you are and what you do and where you work at.
Thank you so much, Joan. My name is Caroline Gitao. I am the program coordinator at Kenya Works and also an expert when it comes to menstrual products and choosing what menstrual product is best for an individual. We advise on that, and also train girls, adolescent girls who are getting into puberty on the best products to use, and also how to manage their menstrual hygiene and all that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Caroline, and welcome to our discussion. We'll go to Anne.
My name is Anne Kimilu. I'm a registered nurse working in healthcare. I'm here today for the discussion so that I can let you know the reality of menstruation and that it's a natural process.
Thank you so much, Anne, and you're welcome as well. Yes.
My name is Vincent Kenvin. I work with Wasanisana community-based organization in Kibra, and I'm here to discuss whatever we are going to discuss today.
Thank you so much, and you're welcome as well.
Sandy.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Nyakio. I'm from Kenyatta University. I'm a student, and I'm also a volunteer at the Gender Violence Recovery Center.
Thank you so much. And those are our guests for today. And entering into our topic of today, we are going to discuss about period poverty and access to hygienic products. And just to go over to you, Caroline, would you just tell us what we understand by period poverty?
Thank you so much for the question. Period poverty mainly addresses issues to do with the menstrual gap. This is mainly in the issues to do with the access to menstrual products. Also issues to do with lack of proper information or enough information regarding menstrual matters. It also gets into the brackets of the misconceptions, also the psychological part of which girls are affected when they do not have products to manage their menses, and also when they go through the taboos, and they're also discriminated during the period, when they are menstruating during their period, and the fact that they are not well embraced, and they are considered as though they are dirty. So the whole aspect of the negative perspective from the society, all that is period poverty.
Asante sana Anne, and then you're Caroline, and that is all about period poverty. And I remember growing up as a young girl, we used to have very limited period products when it comes to hygiene and how safe and what we can use during the period, menstruation periods. And just to go to over you, Ashley, being the teenager, the youth in our community, what are those stories that, how can you say that period poverty has affected you personally?
Okay, personally, it hasn't affected me in any way, but I've seen people who've been affected by it. I have interacted with people who've been affected by it. So, like, you can find someone isn't able to afford their menstrual products, so they end up missing school. And when you miss school, your grades start, you start losing, and you're not learning, you're missing the coursework, and you end up failing your exams. There's also even youth who are working. You end up missing work because, let's say, you didn't afford pads that month. So you end up missing work, and then you start getting their consequences to missing work. So yeah, I've seen people being affected by that, and also the mental health aspect of it. Let's say you have the pads, but you don't have enough pads. So you end up, like you're in class, you end up messing, and you get shamed by the people around you because you've messed yourself, and there's stigma around it. You can't talk about it. People find it difficult to help you. So yeah, that's how I've seen people being affected by it.
Okay, that is true. Like most of the times we see like our youths, they can't really progress with their work or go on to their daily activities when there is shortage of maybe the products that they need to be used during their menstruation. But going over to you, Vin, I know you work with the community at the Wasani Sana organization. So can you tell us something like what Wasani Sana has done and how they are now helping to curb the issue of period poverty in our communities?
Thank you so much, Joan. It's Wasani Sana, community-based organization, and what we do, we basically raise awareness on different pertinent issues that affect the community. In regards to ending period poverty as Wasani Sana, we implement different activities, and one of the activities that we do is interactive community theatre sessions, where we stage a performance in a community and raise awareness on period poverty so that people and girls or the community can understand that these are the issues. Because when you're talking about period poverty, we have taboos. So we pass it through theatre, that is through short skits and poetry. We also do mentorship with girls on the same every Saturday, just to empower them with the support or partnership with other organizations like My Body, My Body. We have Superb. We have the local CBOs that we partner with to raise awareness on the same. We also organize events for social change, just to ensure that women and girls are safe in regards to the same. So those are some of the activities that we use to disseminate information on period poverty.
Okay, talking about you raising this awareness in the community, do we have like some success stories that you've come up with from the forums that you've held back in the communities?
Yes, successes are there, because when we do these activities, there are girls that approach us or they come to our offices and say, you know what, I cannot afford sanitary towels, because with the current economy, if you ask a parent for money to buy pads, they will tell you 100 shillings is enough for us, is enough for Sukuma Wiki for us tonight. No, now if she buys pads, how will then the family survive? So these girls approach us and we give them sanitary towels for free. And there are also girls that we've mentored who are also taking this information to their schools. So during breaks, they meet with their fellow girls within the class and they discuss about the same. So those are some of the successes that I can mention. Then in one of the activities we got, I can say, a well-wisher who attended one of the community activity, because when you're having an activity in the community, you don't know who is watching or who is among the audience. So we had a woman who is working with a certain organization, and from whatever that was being done at that time, the performance and how girls were responding to the questions asked by the facilitator from a skit that was performed. This woman alijitolea akasema each and every month she'll be giving out 150 pads. So now we identify a certain school that we know iko na wasichana na wajiwezi, and we take it there. So from the activity, I can say those are some of the successes that I can mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think as the work you're doing back there is a very good work, in that you're reaching out to the girls who are less fortunate and can't be able to reach out to this information and even to the products. And it's just a way of trying to curb the situations of maybe lack of this proper sanitary towels. And I've also heard you talk about maybe parents can't be able to afford the 100 shillings that is needed to buy pads. I believe right now pads is around
120.
120, and that is for maybe a common mwananchi. 120 is a little bit higher, and if we get more organizations like this that can come in and try and help young girls to access these products, I think it's a very good job, and yeah, that is a very good sign. And just talking about again the hygienic part of menstruation from a clinical perspective, Daktari. Okay, back there at work, what can you tell us about the effects of maybe these products, and you've experienced, or rather you've seen girls come to the facility have presented such issues, so how do you address it better back in your facility?
Thank you, John. So I began by saying that menstruation is a natural physiological process, so it should be easy for this young girl or any woman just to have dignity while they are navigating through their periods. And because we are addressing period poverty, when now one lacks access to what they need to use for sanitation during the menstruation, so that means they would have other alternatives like rags, could even be leaves and sand. This could harm the vulva or maybe the female genital, which is quite a delicate part of the body, and you can get abrasions or you can harm yourself. You can also get infection to your urinary tract, or you can also get infection that is ascending to the utero. So that means that if this is not well taken care of, there are those risks. And now you see when the female genitalia is affected, here we are talking about the fertility of this woman. We are talking about hygiene. So fertility could be affected if we have long-standing infections which are not treated. Also, when they don't use the right commodity for their periods, they have discomfort generally, because that's not the ideal thing you're using. The other thing, they can have embarrassment. Remember, you could be using a sanitary pad, a tissue paper even, that is not adherent to the maybe perineum. Then you can get embarrassed, it can fall off, you can stain your clothes. So there are many effects to the general health that a girl or a woman would be affected, that range from the hygienic health issues, infections, to the emotional trauma.
Okay.
Yes.
And thank you so much. And maybe how do you address it back in your facility?
It depends with one case to the other. Remember, we need to make the young girl understand her body and what this is about. Normally, the men are, when someone starts having a period, a woman or a girl is aged around 10 to 15 years, and a woman would have their periods until they get menopause, or they reach menopause, which is around 40 to 50 years. So you're spending like 2/3 of your life with every month, depending on your cycle. It could range from 21, 26, 28 days. A cycle should not be longer than 35 days. So that means we educate the young woman on how to embrace her body, her sexuality, and how she can navigate through this by just giving the basic health education and how her body works, so she can understand what she is, and from there she gets the confidence.
Yes, I am aware that we are trying to spread out awareness outside there to just make sure that we educate the young girls on how best they can take care of themselves during the menstruation, and how best, or what is the best products, or rather what are the products that they can use that will also itachangia kwa wao kukua more clean and more hygienic during the menstruation period. And just to go into the challenges that we encounter in the community when we are trying to disseminate this information, like what are the challenges that we encounter?
Thank you. There are many challenges. One of them is managing the community's expectation, because For example, when we do these activities, we have women, we have girls who are there. And then one of the challenges, the boy child always complains that if you are offering or providing sanitary towels to women and girls, what are we doing for the boys? Why don't we offer boxers to them? It's something that we've never gotten an opportunity or funds to work around that, because you know, with sanitary towels, you can be supported with any organization. So in terms of managing the community expectation, because at times we get many people or bigger number coming for the sanitary towels, which at times as an organization we cannot be in a position to give all of them. The second challenge is we have families whose their children are beginning menses for the first time, and this is something that happened to my sister last week, because she was beginning her menses for the first time. She's in grade 7, so the menses ilianza akiwa class, so the uniform was stained. Sasa watoto walikuwa nacheka, oh nini ikaleta shida. Now when she came home, she was crying, and then my mother asked her what is wrong, because she's our last born in grade 7. And then she could explain what occurred, because yeye hakuwa anajua hiyo maneno. Sasa ndio ilimwanza akiwa shule. So she was like, people have been mocking her throughout last week. So we had to change school for her. We had to remove her from Spurgeon's to Ayani Primary. So to young girls, wale ambao wanaanza menses, hawajui, and that is one of the challenges, because unapata pia some of the mothers now, wazazi wao, they are not in a position to address it at that time. So kama mzazi pia ana hiyo knowledge on what to be done, then itaacha gap. Then the second challenge is lack of resources in managing the period products, because where we come from, those are informal settlements, and not everyone is in a position to access the period whatevers. Then another challenge we also have, many people cannot access the sanitary towels. And what I always say, whenever I'm facilitating in any action, or I've met with stakeholders in a table, is that we have condom dispensaries. If you go to a hospital, you'll see a condom dispenser. So why don't we have sanitary towel dispenser? When yule anavuta condom ikimwagika, tukue pia na msichana natoa pad zikitiririka. So that is one thing I've been championing for, because it's a challenge. Most of the people cannot still access the sanitary towel products. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you said a very good point there, where I think also the sanitary products should be taken into consideration as much as they take it for the condom. And I remember there's a time we had a discussion on which one is now the most important when it comes to periods and condoms, because period pads and condoms. And the arguments, or rather the discussion, was really heated up, because they felt they both are very important for our youths and also for our young ladies. But both of them are addressing the topic of period not really period poverty in that someone cannot be able to get condom and someone cannot be able to get pads. And I think all of this should be considered as one thing. The same way you unaweza enda kwa choo ya kanjo uvurute condom is the same way pia msichana ukitembea huko nje unaweza ingia kwa choo ya kando pale hivyo town uvurute the pads. And I think it will be a very better community to stay in. And in the community, I believe, like also Caroline, you've worked with the community. What are some of the challenges that maybe you've seen outside there zenye hazijakuwa
addressed? We have so many challenges around this menstrual matters. And apart from lack of sanitary towels, we also have menstrual supplies. These are things to do with the supplies or other items that go hand in hand with pads. Such as soap. We need soap to maintain our hygiene for the girls. Some of the times girls may be menstruating and they do not even have a soap to clean their bodies, to clean their clothes. And also there are regions whereby we do not have adequate water. That has been really a huge challenge with some of our organizations who are dealing with reusable sanitary towels donations, which mostly require water to clean. And when we are trying to address the issue to do with lack of pads, and then period poverty is broader, then we come across issues to do with water. Now we need to see what other ways are we supposed to come in handy to meet that need of water before we even address the need of pad, or just meet all of the needs. So sometimes it is really hard for organizations to be able to come into the community, as he had mentioned, meet the community's expectation. There are so many more other expectations. And again, community girls are many, and an organization maybe by itself cannot be able to meet the need of a particular school, or the girls. Like recently we had a school requesting for 700 sanitary towels. And at that point, we just have 200. So coming in hand to mobilize and get all the 700 pads, it really becomes an issue. Yeah, but also we are trying to also navigate ways of coming up with solution to such by ensuring we have like backup plans, partnership with other organizations, and also trying to ensure we are training our girls from a tender age what to expect when they get to puberty. They need to know the changes that are happening in their bodies, right from increasing in height and weight. You see, those are really things that you can ignore. But do you know some girls really get affected by just even getting pimples on their face? Yeah, they get really traumatized. So not only on period, because period and other changes in the body, they all come together. So they need to be trained, they need to be created awareness to what to expect, so that we can even avoid issues like school transfer that will even come interfere with the child's education. So all those things we are trying as partners, as experts around this period matters, to try and see how can we come in hand to solve these challenges that we are facing.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, do we have any other challenge?
Okay, I'll add on that. I think there's also a challenge on the toilet facilities, especially in schools. You find maybe there's one toilet, one girl's toilet, and you have to share with even the little children, the little girls. So you can imagine you've gone to the toilet, you're on your periods, sometimes things happen, you haven't cleaned up very well, and they go after you, or there's not enough water, and they go after you. So everyone there will know that you're on your periods. It starts circulating, the information goes around, everyone starts laughing at you, shaming you. So there's that issue. I think the toilet facilities need to be improved, and also separated maybe from the kids from a younger age, so that maybe from children who are 9 years old and above, they have their own separate toilets, and from the younger ones. Also, there's the issue of the curriculum. You can find the girls who start their periods early, sometimes you don't even know what's happening to you. You've started, because, okay, normally they say it starts from age 10, but I know of people who've started their periods from age 9, 8 years old, and the curriculum teaches about periods when you're in class 6, which is when you're around 12 years old. So you see, you have no clue about what to expect. So I think it needs to be looked into, and they start teaching girls early enough from age 8 about it, even from the family level. Start talking to your girls and educating them from a young age.
I think that is a discussion that should be taken up by our guardians and our parents back at home, in that we should not just wait to learn it in the school curriculum. I think that is a topic that maybe our parents back at home, you can start it up with your kids right from maybe they are 9 years or 8 years, until they just get to understand what is this, and when it happens to me, what am I supposed to do? And that will also break on the stereotypes or rather the misconceptions that we have outside there. Yeah. And another challenge I think that I can really mention, on the other time I was outside in the community talking about menstrual hygiene, and one of the challenges that came up was on how to dispose properly our sanitary products after use. And most of the girls out there were talking about the toilets or the pit latrines not having a specific place to dump the used
soil pad,
to dump the used pad. And some were saying about maybe dumping it in the rivers, and we tried to have a conversation on how hygienic is that, now that we are talking about menstrual hygiene, and there's also hygiene in that. How hygienic is that? Some talking about putting them in a garbage somewhere in the house and just storing it up there until later, when after the 5 days of the ideal menstrual period to end, and then they will go and burn it or dump it somewhere. So talking about all the challenges, so what is the best way that we can address challenges around menstrual hygiene and its products?
Sure. Especially when it comes to the disposal method, that has been really a huge challenge. And burning, again, that depends actually with the type of sanitary towel or sanitary product we are talking about, because some are not even, okay, they can be disposed, but after a long usage, like say after 5 years, that's when you need to dispose it. So that now brings up another topic, like what types of pads, what types of menstrual products are there, and how do we dispose each one of them. Now with the disposable pads, the ones that are maybe thrown in the toilets, it has been really a huge challenge, because consider a school with 1,000, these are public school with 1,000 girls. Every girl menstruating, let's say like 800 girls are already mature and they are menstruating in a month. How many pads will be thrown in the latrine toilet? And how long will that latrine toilet stay before it gets filled up? So we need to consider all that. So there are discussions about, should we burn the disposable pads, throw them inside or dig holes and dump them inside, or which is the best method we need to partake when it comes to disposal methods? Yeah.
And I think that's a discussion that we need to have as people working around this, or as a country, because within different informal settlements we have the community toilets, and whenever people access these toilets, you'll find that a sanitary towel has been disposed everywhere. So I think it's something that we need to discuss with girls and women on how disposal should be done, because I think it doesn't augur well if we come to the community toilets and we see whatever we see. It's part of health, so it needs to be protected as well.
Just to address on the challenges, talking of the youths, what is some of the ways that maybe you think we as a community, or we as organizations that are really talking about menstrual hygiene, what is the best way that maybe we can come in and try and address challenges associated to matters menstrual hygiene?
Okay, I think you can, as organizations, you need to also introduce the menstrual products such as menstrual cups, because you can find it's more durable and sustainable. When you come and give out sanitary towels, you've used them for a month. What happens when the organization has left? You have to wait for another organization to give you another sanitary towel. So I think it's better if you guys sit down and discuss and find a way we can introduce menstrual cups, because when you give someone a menstrual cup, it can last them for a longer period. So they don't have to sit and wait for someone else to come to their aid. So I think that's something you can try to look into. And also the issue of sanitation as well. Yeah, I think many people don't know how to properly dispose pads. And also, even in the institutions, the schools, you can find it's a school and you don't have the dust bins for disposing pads. Yeah. You don't have them, or they're there, but it's not kept well. You'll find pads all over, even on the floor. You'll find it's dirty. There's no one to empty it. So I think it needs to be looked into. Yeah.
Maybe just something on what she has said about the menstrual cups, and I'm looking at availability and also access of the same, because we have institutions that donate sanitary towels easily, but with access to menstrual cups, I don't know if they are there. Maybe, or if I can just pose a question, how many of us here, the gender, yes. How many of you here have used the menstrual cup? The menstrual cup. You see, it also comes with. Is it something that can be accepted easily by the girls? Sure. Depending on how it's being brought out. So it can work, but again, it's an education that need to be done. That with menstrual cup, it'll last for long, and with this, you don't need to have pads each and every month. You are okay with this one, unless you want to change. But it starts with us as well. Okay. Yeah.
So I will make my contribution based on the use of the menstrual cup, because it's something I've used. And having all those wide range of products that you can use during your menstruation, what we are looking at is sustainability. And what we just discussed was what if we have these cost-efficient products that can be used over time, not the disposable ones. Then at the end of the day, because we want to address this issue of period poverty, the other incentives can be used for other things like water and sanitation and all that, because that's also a real concern. It's not about lacking the sanitary pads only. So I would say the menstrual cup is something that needs patience in terms of training, convincing maybe your target audience that this is something you need to use in this way. This requires even you to train them on hand hygiene. Because remember, if we don't teach them on hand hygiene, and this is something that's invasive, you're going to put it in your genitalia, the technique. So it entails a lot of things. And I must admit that we have a lot of work to do in the community, including the parents to these children, or maybe the young woman asking you, is this going to break my hymen? Or all those concerns will be there. But I know what you are looking at is the sustainability. And the other myths also surrounding the menses and all that, and this is something we really need to explain. This is what we'll achieve when we have the menstrual cup, and even if it's not the menstrual cup, what other products you're giving the young girls.
Sure. Now, if you may allow me, Joanne, you've mentioned menstrual cups, and it's good to show what menstrual cup is and how it looks like. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the menstrual cup, and this is how it looks like. And I think if I can continue to show different types of the products we can use during menstruation. We have the menstrual cups. We have a biodegradable pad. I will explain what a biodegradable means. We have a disposable pad, the normal pads we know, and we have reusable sanitary towel, and we have a tampon. This is how a tampon looks like. So within all that, we have a wide range of products that we can use during our menstruation. And we are not limited. We really want to let girls know they have the power to choose what they are comfortable using, and also other factors also come in handy, like, is it affordable? Is it accessible? Yeah, and how comfortable are you using it? Many people will not feel comfortable using a cup, not maybe a reusable pad or whichever. But now, the menstrual cup, as our young girl here has just mentioned. It is more sustainable, yes. It can be used for several years, and this is how it's inserted in our genitalia, in the vagina. You take this, when the girl is menstruating, she takes the cup and flips it this way. Okay, it's not hard, it's easy, and inserts through the vagina. So when it's inside, she will actually release it, and it will open. It will be open and held by the cervix, and therefore the blood, the menstrual blood, will flow in the cup. She can stay with the cup for the whole day, actually even the whole night, and remove it in the morning. Yeah, so after that you will realize the menstrual blood is not so much that it will maybe overflow the cup. It's not really, if it does, then probably there is some sign of not abnormality, which requires some medical attention. That is to do with the cup.
Before we go to the cup, maybe,
yes.
I know maybe someone outside there might have a question.
Exactly.
Like, how comfortable is it to use the menstrual cup? And maybe mtu kama mimi hapa hivi natumia pads, nikitoa ninaona kama damu ni mingi sana. How sure are you that haitajaa hapo hivyo, kulingana na chenye mimi huona ni mingi sana.
You think it's a lot, it will even overflow.
It overflow.
No, actually, you see, on the pad is made up of a material that absorbs the blood. And if it absorbs, it doesn't just remain there, it spreads out. So you'll actually think that it is so much because it has been absorbed and spread out. But now in the cup, the blood will just remain here constantly, and there is a line that is just at the bottom here. That is most of the time, that is where the blood will be. But it depends. But this is like the minimal amount of blood that we will get from a menstruating girl or lady. Now it is the comfortability depends. Most of the time, it's actually recommended for anyone, but maybe for a bit mature ladies will feel more comfortable using this, like maybe young girls who are starting their menstruation. Yeah, so maybe whoever you said you've used it, and she has told us about the comfortability. Yes. Yeah, it also depends from one individual to the other. And that's why we as organizations dealing with menstrual products, we are here to let people know the existence of these products and choose for themselves. You can try and choose which fits you best. There is tampons. Yes, you still have a question on that.
Can virgins use this?
Well, the virgins, okay, they can use it, but there is always this question about breaking the hymen when you use when you insert something inside. But now, hymen, mostly it is broken by the, okay, we normally say virginity is broken by sex, right? When you insert a cup in the vagina, is that having sex? No. Not really. So this is not, it will not break your virginity, all right? Yeah, however, it is not, I had mentioned this, it is not recommended for young girls. It can be used by mature ladies who are comfortable using it, because for a girl, sincerely, and that's why I'm saying it should be used by a person should be given the leeway to choose what they want to use. So for me, I will not recommend it for young girls. Okay. Let it be used by mature ladies. Okay. Now let me move, yes?
Saying, sorry for cutting you short again. Okay. Saying that it can be used for several years. What is the best way that maybe a lady outside there, or even me myself, I can be able to take care of the cup for me to use it for the several years that you've just quoted? Okay,
mainly it is used for 3 to 5 years, and it is cleaned through, you take some, you can boil water after you drain the blood, obviously in the toilet, and you boil water and wash it. So it is disinfected by hot water, and it's made of silicone. So by that, it will not, when you disinfect it with hot water, it will not have any germs. So that is a way of keeping it. Yeah. So the other thing we have is the tampon. A tampon, they come in different shapes. We have small size, you have medium and large, depending also with the size of the girl who is using it. This also create a lot of debate around it. Will it also break the virginity or not? Because it's also inserted in the vagina and it is meant to absorb the blood. It has a string whereby when you insert it and it stays in the vagina, absorbs enough blood, it can, the string remains outside the vagina and it can be pulled. Okay? Yeah, so this is the part that gets into the vagina, and the string remains for it to make it ivurutike, sawa sawa. Yeah, so after it absorbs the blood, it will not remain the size it is, obviously, in a fura. Okay? Yeah, it is, many people who've used this, they say it is more comfortable. They can even go for swimming while they are using, when they're still in menstruation. Yeah, and that's it. So and maybe, it is disposable. It's actually disposable.
Question on this.
Yes.
Able hold it? So
you can hold it as well.
So
it's clean.
You say this part is what goes inside the vagina.
Yes.
So when it's inside the vagina, this part just hangs.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, you don't put the string inside. The purpose of the string is to allow you pull it from the vagina when it is ready to be pulled. You will know as a girl, you know your menstrual flow. There's a heavy flow, there is medium, and there's heavy flow. So you will know when you're ready to pull it. So we have the normal pads we use. These are disposable sanitary towels.
Before you go to the pad, I'd like to appreciate the various products you're introducing to us.
Yes.
But just to the young girl watching us from home, in case you would choose the what do you call it? The tampon is the modality you want to use to collect your flow. There's always a caution that on the package that says you should not wear the tampon for many hours, because if you wait for many hours, remember it's a piece of cloth you've stuffed in there, or it's in there and absorbing blood. It can be a source of infection. You can get what you call toxemia something. There's always a cautionary message on that product.
Thank you so much for that. It's so important to have a medic while you're dealing with menstrual issues. So we have the disposable pads, which are used between, say, 4 to 6 hours. You can stay with the pad, but also depends with the flow. Again, we do not recommend for a girl, even if you have a low flow, to stay with a pad for the whole day. It's also a hygienic measure because it allows your genitalia to also breathe. And you know the blood has got microorganisms. The vagina, the genital areas, they are wet and warm. So it creates a really good environment for bacterial multiplication and generating bacteria, which can be harmful to our bodies. So we recommend, even if the flow is light, can the girl at least change the pad, not more than 6 hours. If it is heavy, then at least 4 hours or so. But frequent changing of pads, especially the disposable pad, can show maybe you have some issues and you need some attention. That means you have overflow. Like changing a pad after 2 hours, doctor, is that really okay? Or it depends?
It's not practical, but if it's possible, change is as frequent as possible.
All right. Yes. So that is with the disposable pad. So how do you change it? You see the, let me just open it. So so after use, how do you safely dispose your pad? So after use, you will find that this part will be full of blood, and the easiest way to dispose your pad after removing it from the panty will be to close it this way and at least roll it in a way that you hide the blood part of it, and you can use, of course, when you change it, you use a clean pad, you replace, and the dirty one you fold it using the upper wrap. And now you can dispose it in the bins that are provided for further disposal. So that is the same way you're going to do using the the biodegradable pads. Now, what's the difference between biodegradable and these others, disposable? The thing is, biodegradable pad, after disposing them, they take few months to become soil, to decompose back to the soil. But the disposable pad, they can stay years and years before they decompose. Therefore, the biodegradable are really eco-friendly, they are environmental friendly, and they are easy to use, just like the disposable pad, and they are, I can say, they are friendly to our environment. So that is the main difference. Now let's go to the reusable pad. Reusable pad is quite different because this is not a disposable product. Okay, it can be disposed after a long use, but not after one usage or one-time usage. A reusable pad is a pad that can be used over and over again. For example, on this product, I am allowed to say the name of this product because it is Kenya Works product. It's Makini pad. Makini pad doesn't come like it is here. It is a full pack of 8 of these reusable sanitary towels. It has got these 2. They are reusable bags for putting in the soiled pad. And then we have a holder. We have 2 holders. So they come in, the packet comes with 2 holders, 2 bags, and 8 reusable pads, and also a use and care leaflet inside. So how is it used? I'm going to demonstrate this using a panty. This is a panty. And for you to wear a reusable pad, you need to put it inside out. Take one of the holders, open the wings, and then place the holder at the middle part of the panty and close the wings beneath. After that, you place the pad, one of the pads, it has got a Velcro which you can fix it on the other part of it, on the holder, and it fits really well there, and now the girl is ready to wear the pad. So this is a reusable pad, meaning after the girl uses it and it is ready to be changed, she doesn't throw it away. She has to remove it very well, roll it down like this, and place this used or soiled pad in any of these bags. There are 2 of them, so it is placed in any of these bags awaiting wash. So these pads, we really insist that the girl should wash them in the evening. If during the day she has changed, say 3 or 4, that is maximum that we think it's adequate. That's why we have 8 of them, 8 of the pads. In case she uses 4 today, tomorrow she still have 4, as she waits for the one she used today to dry to be used the following day. Until the menstrual period is done within the 4 or 5 days, she still is safe on using the reusable pad. Now, how do the washing take place, and does it require a lot of water? Those are questions, the hygienic part of it. I'm sure the doctor will talk about this, but how is it cleaned? So when in the evening when the girls get home, we recommend for them to wash these pads this way. You get water in a basin, get all the pads that you had put in those bags, and then soak them in clean, cold water. In this manner, just place the pad this way and allow the blood to be soaked to the water for about less than 5 minutes. So the blood gets soaked from the pad to the water, and then squeeze the pad. Pour the water, it doesn't matter where. You can pour it on the ground. Even if there is a farm, daktari utaniambia hapo. But we've done our research here by pouring the water, the bloody water, in a farm, si kwa mboga, kwa mchanga. And then you plant. They really grow very well. Sijui kuna nini kwa hiyo damu. They grow very well. So now, with that, after that, you put another second water in this in the same basin. In the second wash, you take a soap. We recommend bar soap because it is easily accessible and it doesn't have so much harsh chemicals. So use a soap, bar soap, apply to the pad. In case there were stains that didn't come out when the pad was soaked, the soap helps the stains to come out. So at this stage, you are allowed to clean the pad just the same way they clean their clothes using their hands. At this point, the blood is not much on the pad and in the water, so it doesn't look yuckish as the girls tell us. No, it is yuckish, you can't wash our blood. But then we have a long training on that because blood, especially menstrual blood, it is not dirty blood. I have to repeat that. Menstrual blood is not dirty blood. So it can be cleaned. It can, just the fact that it comes through the vagina, and when it's coming out, it comes out with other things like mucus and all that. That's what maybe it can make it dirty. But the blood, menstrual blood is blood like any other. When it comes out, and any blood, when it's kept for a long time, it smells. So you need to be very keen as girls who are using products. Let's learn, especially for the reusable. They should wash them on a daily basis. So after that, they rinse the pad. This is the third wash. They use just minimal amount of water, rinse the pad, and air them outside where there is sun, because sun helps us so much in killing germs. So that is the process. But while drying it outside under the sun, we advocate for them to place a light cloth on it so that it doesn't really get contaminated with the dust and all that. Afterwards, they can pick them when they are really dry and place them back to the bags as they continue to reuse them. For this pad goes for 18 months. We have other different types of reusable pads. So all those are different ranges of different products that we can use. They have different methods of management. So we advocate for parents, for teachers, for grown-ups who are with these young girls who are starting menstruating, to work with them, train them on how to manage their menstruation, because sometimes it can really be hard if you're not well trained on how to go about it. Yeah, thank you.
Maybe a question, and also the doctor will also help where she can, because it's a question that always comes in our community dialogues, where girls, these grown-up girls, ask, is it, can someone have sex when they're on their menses? And if you ask why, they will tell you that overflow inakuanga between day 1 na day 2. So day 3 imepungua. Day 4 hata kama hujamaliza, you can engage in sex. Is it something that, is it allowed health-wise? Is it okay, or?
Okay, let me take that up. While I just appreciate what she's told us, that menstrual blood is not infectious. I began by saying when we were discussing that you can get infection from using a tampon. That is basically because of the pooling of the blood up there. Remember, you've put something like a plug. Now, when we talk about now having coitus, when you're having your menses, and also the possibility of infection. First, what is flowing from the uterus is just the uterus shedding a layer called endometrium. Remember, a woman's body prepares for a possibility of pregnancy. Every month, it prepares for the possibility of pregnancy by the endometrium growing thick, having blood supply. In case mtoto atalalapo, akwe supply. When you don't get pregnant, you shed that. I will not ask somebody to have or not to have sex during their menses, but since we've ruled out the possibility of no infection, you can do it if you're comfortable, but how does it make you feel as a person? Because I know sometime when the days of your flow, maybe say day 1, day 2, day 3, don't look like the same. You're on day 3, then you do something that's vigorous. Remember, your endometrium is peeling, still healing. You can stimulate some more flow. I don't know, but that can be evidenced by those ladies. Umemaliza kunyesha leo, alafu kesho uende kulima ama kufua nguo. There can be kind of mild trauma, let me call it that. But if you feel free to do it, you can still do it. And are you going to clean properly after that? So it feels a bit uncomfortable. It's a controversial topic. I've even come across people who like the period sex more than the normal coitus. So who am I to tell somebody don't do it? So it depends. You can choose what you want here.
Yeah, because there are myths and misconceptions outside there that when a man, I engage with a lady for sex when she's on her menses, kuna possibility kidney yangu pia ikuwe affected. Now you see, such myths and misconceptions are outside there.
Not really. Not really. Yeah, it's highly unlikely there'll be a source of infection. I can tell you that. What about what people generally say? If you have coitus a few days to your periods, they come earlier. I think that is true.
Okay.
Yes, because it can be explained. Remember, when you orgasm as a woman, there's the excitement of the cervix, which maybe stirs or gets excited. And remember, the cervix opens. So having sex just before your periods, it can make it come a few days earlier because of that effect. And the contraction of the muscles for the uterus.
And does it as well relieve cramping?
Not entirely 100%. You know, I would like to talk about something that is evidence-based. I can confirm if you're 2 days to your periods and you have coitus, and especially if you orgasm, your cervix is excited, your muscles contract. Remember, even the cramps you have is contraction. Your periods will come earlier.
By coitus, you mean sex? Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Shortly, kidogo tu, so that we wind on this. Okay. Just a question again, because it's something that comes out after sex, not after sex, after menstruating. How safe is a lady for how many days? Because there are those who say after menses ikisha leo anaanza kuhesabu siku 5, so she can have sex without protection. She will not get pregnant. So immediately after your menses, how many days can you count that you can engage in sex without maybe protection and you won't get pregnant? For the sake of young people watching, because they do it.
Sure. As much as remember, we talked about the condoms. As much as we advocate about sex and abstinence, because I believe the young person there is focused more on maybe their studies or something else. Now, for the rest of the family members who wants a clarification on when to have sex or coitus after your menses and all that, cycles vary, but the average woman has 28 days cycle. The first day of my menses is when, the first day of my cycle rather, is when my menses began. So if I began having my menses today, this is my day 1, and all that day 5. So we do believe halfway the cycle, by the 14th day, you're expected to be ovulating, right? So day 14th. But just to be safe also, because you call them safe days, and that's when there's highly low, or maybe the possibility, the chances of getting pregnant are low. So we say from the day 1 of your period, 8 to 10 days are safe. Remember, number 12 is near to number 14. So 8 to 10 days, even during your period, by the way, you're safe, though the people who could be ovulating at the same time they are menstruating, though that's something that's unique to some people. So we are saying maybe 5, 8 to 10 days, up to 10 days, because some people say they can have coitus during their period. Then after the 10th day, avoid coitus mpaka 18th day. So just count it as that. That is simple as that. But women's body are different. People have now 21 days. Those one are fertile almost every day. Others are 26 days. So your doctor will always advise you what method you use in terms of the calendar. And those days you're likely now to conceive, you use backup methods. Yeah.
So like we do not have exact safe days, you can say?
Yes, we don't have exact.
Depends with an individual.
We just use the 28th day because it's the common. So if you have 30 days, it's different.
Up to 15,
Up to 15, yeah. You need to also be careful with that. I know your method may mess what
Okay, thank you so much. That was such an interesting conversation right there. And as we wind up, maybe if anyone would like to say something, an addition of period poverty, just the topic we've been talking about, menstrual hygiene and period poverty, something that maybe we could have left out before we just went out there, the show to make it short and sweet.
I I just feel that this whole conversation that we're having, we just realize that women need dignity during their periods. So from having access to the right products, even you will be okay emotionally. And for parents, if you cultivate a meaningful relationship with your children, they'll always tell you what their needs are, including the sanitary products. It is not always even about the period poverty. Well, that is the problem we are dealing with in the community. There are some unique situations that children are not able to express themselves because we've taken this period thing to be a taboo, meaning maybe I'm having my periods, I am impure, I am not clean. Even the good book tells us that. But I think by scientific methods, we are able to say period blood is not dirty. So parents have meaningful relationship with your children, and you'll be able to support them, educate them, and always teach them the things they need to know.
Yeah, I would say that my parting shot is to the boys out there. When we do distribution of pads to girls, it's a necessity. Girls are menstruating, boys are not menstruating. Yes, it's an inclusive topic. We need boys to learn about menstruation. We need them to learn on how their role is in helping the girls. But doesn't mean we do not love you. We love you so much. And when we get resources, we also come along with boxers. Sawa sawa, mletange boxers. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, mine will be to urge the government of the day, because I think we've not been seeing goodwill from the government in supporting all this process. They've left all the work to the civil societies to help our girls and women. So if the government can come up to terms of helping the period poverty, because we used to say that sanitary towels should be distributed in schools. That is not taking place. So let's have the goodwill from the government and let them be in a position to support the process as well.
Sure.
Okay, my parting shot will be, first of all, thank you for being here, all of you. And my point was the involvement of men and boys in this conversation. I think we need to involve men and boys in this conversation about menstrual health, because there's so many taboos about it, and you'll find that some can't even hold a pad because of the stigma and taboo around menstrual health. So I think we need to have more open conversations and involve everyone in the conversation. Also, holding the government accountable. They need to provide pads in schools and other institutions. So I think if we continue having these open conversations and involving other NGOs, the government, and other people, we can be like, I think Scotland, they provide free menstrual products to schools. So I think we can reach that if we continue with the open conversations about this.
Thank you so much. And I believe my parting shot is just to thank you, Caroline, and Vin and Ashley and our viewers back at home for engaging with us in this wonderful conversation. I believe GVRC together with CFLI, that is the Canadian Funds for Local Initiatives, have more of these programs scheduled to be aired outside there. Informations or rather discussions around menstrual hygiene is something very important to take up as a society. So thank you so much for joining us in this conversation, and we are looking forward to having more of these conversations with you. Asanteni sana.
Umejiuliza we, hakuna haja kunyamaza kimya na wajiumiza.